What's the deal, Pickles? A lot of the stuff that I've built over the last couple of years, my wife is not comfortable with driving and has been after me to get something together for her. So I'm going to be addressing that today. So if you're new here, this is my Kawasaki Bayou 220. I've done a couple videos on this in the past, putting the winch on, the fog lights. I think I put a timing chain on it at one point. I've wrecked it before. At one point, I rolled it at Busco. This four-wheeler has seen some things. I put a timing chain in it, and it ran great for a long time, but it started developing a bottom-end knock. Luckily, I know about a little thing called Facebook Marketplace. And I got a whole complete motor for it for $200. We're going to be doing a motor swap on a Kawasaki Bayou 220. That being said, let's get after it. Why didn't I clean this thing before I started working on it? Probably because I'm lazy. First things first, to make everything easier, we're going to take the plastics, gas tank, and everything off. Luckily, because of the age and abuse of this four-wheeler, half of it's held together with zip ties and maybe a few bolts, so this shouldn't take long. After you get the two rack bolts out, as well as these two out back here, all you got left is a couple Phillips head bolts holding the fender skirts onto this bracket down here. And then the whole front end should pretty much come off. Now, as far as the back plastics, you've got these bolts that come up through the bottom on both sides. And these two bolts in here. There's one here as well, and two up front. These were missing, as well as this one, so we'll get these two out, be able to lift this rack, and these should just slide right on off. Next, we're going to take off this gas tank. The cover itself is really simple, especially if half the hardware is gone. Take off the cap. I'm just going to kind of finagle it around. The ignition wiring, 4 wires. That side's out. The ignition, or the reverse. Okay. Plastic cap. Pop your reverse switch out. Your gas tank cover's off. And the gas tank is relatively simple. Shut off your fuel. Pull the hose. I want to say it's just this 8mm bolt. That and that. Boom. Fuel tank is off. I really shouldn't be looking at this naked frame because it's giving me some bad and expensive ideas. Oh, Lord. Nope, Colin, just put it back like you're supposed to. Looking it over, it doesn't look like it's going to be terrible to take this out. Yes, I know I've got to clean up a bunch of this wiring, but I'm going to take care of that after I get this motor swap done. It looks like there's really not a whole lot holding this thing in here. We'll disconnect this vent tube. I've already got the spark plug disconnected, and I'll get the exhaust done. But it looks like one bolt here, one here, this hanger up front, and we may have to drop these foot pegs, and one more bolt way down there. So I've been looking it over, and I think I've got it figured out. I've never actually pulled a motor out of a Bayou, but I'm going to go ahead and finish getting everything disconnected. I'll take the carburetor off, and we'll start worrying about our engine mounting bolts, and I think the drive shaft setup just unbolts and then pulls free from the motor. Stick around. I'm going to start pulling stuff off of this four-wheeler. Well, let's get after it. So now that I've got the exhaust as well as the carburetor removed, now I'm going to start working on these motor mount bolts. All right, so over on this side, I've got the vent tube disconnected, as well as the wiring coming from the stator. I don't know why this was so long. Well, that was fun, not really. All right, she's out. With the old, in with the new. And hernia. She's a big girl. Y'all ready for this? Because I'm not. There may be grunting and or farting sounds, so you've been warned. This motor's too light for my liking. It needs to be heavier. This piece here connects to the output shaft. I can't show you but so much of it, but this is like a cone piece. It's about that big around that goes down into the drive shaft to the rear. That piece slides onto right here and engages with the engine. Well, if you've just got that cone sitting on the end, you risk rounding it out, your rear end not working, four-wheeler won't move, all kind of stuff. So now I'm gonna start putting these motor mount bolts in. Forgot to turn the camera back on, but I do have the very last bolt in. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They're all in. Dang it. You know that feeling when you realize you missed something that you shouldn't have missed? That. I've found 2 issues with the wiring so far, going from this new motor to the old harness. Now, 1, this is your power coming out of the stator. Notice how it has 3 wires. 1, 2, 3. This is your power going in. Not only is it a different plug, it's 2-wire. I've got this 2-pin plug here. I've got to look at the diagram again to figure out what this is exactly, but it plugs in right here. It's not long enough. God. Oh, Lord. That's what happens when you don't do your research thoroughly. We're kind of at a standstill on this one now. But that's the price you pay when you play this game. But hey, the new motor's in, and it looks really good. I'm going to have to look into that and see just what all I'm going to have to do as far as the wiring. I don't want to just guess at something like that because that's a great way to burn a four-wheeler down. Plus, I'm not great at wiring anyway, so that doesn't help. So hopefully on the next one, I'll have my new parts in and have this wiring situation figured out. Sorry about that. I wish I had more for you. I really do. I hate when stuff like this happens. Okay, so I talked to Matt, and he helped me figure this out. The 3-wire is AC, while the 2-wire is DC. So I can't make the stator that's in the motor right now work. So I've got 2 options. Try to make the old stator work in the new motor, or just find a new stator for the new motor that is DC. So I'm going to explore those, but I wanted to go ahead and get this video out, so that's where we're at. Again, I'm sorry. That's my mistake. I should have been paying more attention. If you haven't already, like and subscribe. Make sure you use the links in the description to pick up a t-shirt from MiniBikeApparel. And until next time, y'all get out there and get after it.